Hello all, my name is Maris Free. Welcome to another table talk video, motivational table talk video. And this time our topic will be on our Mother Earth. The Earth, yay, the Earth. Um, this is because our two last topics were on female and male. Like I was trying to bring us back to honor the women of last month, the Women History Month of last month, and we had to talk about women, and then fall short and had to talk about the men, and which summarize our humanity that we seek of both must be together, must be able to see their need and be able to fulfill their need to get to the place of humanity which we are supposed to be. And this is where we are heading to, of being able to see that humanity is all about authority and caring, and authority of more of a male side, and caring of more of a female side, makes us see that we need both of the mind, that the mind is like a tool. And sometimes we have this negative and positives that, of the mind, some things that we agree with, some that we don't agree with, the fairness, the unfairness, we're trying to correct back to fair. The mind, like a battlefield, we've heard it being sung like almost all of our life, if if you have, like me. So to see that, hey, it relates with the earth, which we are of, and the earth are worthy, able to bear us all. It's a supernatural capability of its existence, being able to have us all into a physical of difference of differences. Like we have the plants, we have the animals, organisms, the sun, we have the elements of the earth. The earth comprises of a lot. So being able to have all this, it's like a book we can learn from to understand the true nature of how we could get back to that peace that have no storm. That even when we have a problem, we start seeking for solutions, and the little ideas we get, and the little benevolence that we're able to put together, it makes a whole of us. And this is how I see our being of a man and a woman like a broken piece of humanity that we are. The pieces, the two pieces shows instability that that the humanity, that the stability of us have become like a glass on a table. If it falls down, it becomes into pieces, and it being in pieces tells us it's unstable. And what we need to do is get it back to the right um, 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 what whole that it was in the beginning. And this is only possible if we knew what the beginning was. That even when we say we are humans and we don't know where we come from, and try not to look at the spiritual side, try not to get into the spiritual side of us. I want to respect those who don't atheist, and some of us shying away from power and being able to admit just the little that we know, because we all start like a seed from wherever we get to, wherever origin, wherever we reach a destination. It's like a new beginning, and it's like a new seed, and how it has to grow matters. Like I was saying in the previous video, that of all the trees that we have made contaminated, we're trying to make one tree that is worthy to be able to see the true us, the stable us that we need to find, which is peace that have no storm. We have been able to experience pain and peace to see that pain is more of a storm and peace has no pain, and we're looking for painless and we don't want pain. So being able to make something that has no pain is what we are looking up to, of the mind at the end, to be a peace that have no storm. I know we have come to a place where we are like, this is not possible. There's no way peace can be without storm. For storm is like a means, even though it's alarming now, it has a normal balance of it, of being a means of disciplining, like a disciplinary way of life, to be able to keep peace. in existence. Like a father trying to discipline a child back to right, so the child can go the way that is not the child is not supposed to go. So it's like the earth being able to enable its elements to go to a certain state. It's like a disciplinary way to get us back of its beings to be able to get back to normal, to right. And destruction and all that, we look at it like destruction, but to some, to the earth is a means of disciplining. Like a child will look at the form of discipline, like trying to get them away from happiness. It's like to sort out a possibility of becoming of the worth that the outcome we expect is supposed to be. That some have seen that afflicting someone with the aim of getting to a place of peace that have no storm is a right measure. But this is coming because we've come to a place to know what a storm is, and that we're seeking for peace, and we use this like an ability or a tool to be able to gain peace, that we need storm. But we don't need storm, because at the end of the day, every seed grows, and the more we keep enabling storm worthy, it's growing to a point where we can't even take control of it. And we see even of today of how some things we can't even handle, and we are able to we try to back up, to back off, try to back off. And this is just only concerning the physical being of us. I'm trying not to go into spiritual yet. I'm trying for us to at least get the basic. Like I said in most of the videos, that a drop of water is enough to know what water is like than going to the ocean. You need not go to the ocean to know what water is like, but from the drop you are able to know what water is like before navigating peacefully. But now the problem now is, if you know what the drop of water is and you need to go, our plan is, let me say, if the ocean is a positive place, a place of peace that have no storm that we're going to, what will it be like? It will be like you have to know what your water is with a drop first, no matter be the ocean a place of peace or not. You need to know what your drop of water is and it's like, and what is all the properties of the water. You need to at least learn the basics before you even think of even going further. But now having your end goal in your mind is important from the beginning, while working with the drop. That my aim is to go to the peace still ocean, but I need to first of all know what are the properties of water and all that I need to know about water before I get to the ocean. If the ocean is peace that have no storm. In what I was preparing in other videos mostly was the ocean that is with storm, that we have been able to enable of the complications that we have become from the list of 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 the pain that we had. Now that has grown into another, that we are so confused between the seed and the tree. Like, did we first of all plant but a little tree that has grown, or was it a seed, and what was the seed like? So we're in a place of confusion. So now we're trying to make sure that we know the basics first, and we don't even need to go to the ocean to know what water is like, meaning that we don't need so much of pain to understand what pain is like. Or the little that we have known is enough for us to learn from. Because we are not pain, we are peace that have no storm. The pain is the disease. We need not too much, we need not know the disease. What we know is already sufficient, which is the peace that we are, and the stability that we are is what we should know, and that's enough. That even of the complications that we are now, we cannot belittle ourselves or feel bad and feel lame, or of low self-esteem, or being able to know another that we're not supposed to know. And how do we correct something that we don't know? The only way is to get back to peace. We need not know too much of the unknown. We need to just get back to the peace where we were of stability. And how was peace stability that we became of an unknown? Because there's a higher being that enabled us into being. And if we have to ask, then how did this higher being enable us to be of a being? Who enabled this higher being to be of being? Well, our spoon has not been able to ask us this question. So why even ask the question, but seeking for a peace that have no storm? That even if we have to ask the question, it's up to us. And our higher being of love will never deny being able, will never deny to tell the truth, because peace is truth, and any other that is not truth is a storm. So all we aim for is the one that we know is a higher being that enabled us into being, is truth that have no lie or storm, and is who we seek. So when we begin to know this, some will say, but the one that I know that is higher being that made me is one of both. And then this one of both will have an answer of peace that have no storm, because it means that the storm has only grown into an ocean of storm, and we're trying to get back to that drop. I pray we understand where I'm going to with our earth, our mother earth, of the greatness of our mother earth, like an ocean is a mother earth, of us all in there like pieces, like drops of this ocean. Now we see the positive side of an ocean being an end goal that we're aiming at and we have to get to. But to get there, it's not at once, it's step by step, like a journey. And the journey only seeking peace that have no storm. And we must grow like a tree, a seed. We must grow. We have to be patient, like the farmer is patient of the seed to grow. And once the harvest is ready, my, it's like, hey, how great is the harvest when you're patient. But now, being patient should come with comfort and not more pain. Because if we are having more pain, it means that the production is not going to be what? And we're going to be, with the patient is going to be like, we need more patience again to enable another tree that is worthy, that can produce more fruit. And so, how long are we going to have this patience? How long have our world been for? I looked on media how old our Earth is. Our Earth, I learned from the media that our Earth is like 4 point. Let me take a look. I'm sorry, I'm looking down on my paper, my little summary that I have. I learned that our Earth is 4.543 billion of years. That's 4,543 billion. Yeah, 4.543 billions of years. Well, approximately. I know that I know that it could be a little bit it could shy away a little, or some. I know some of our scholars today of higher intelligence might have come out with a better information on this number of years that our world has been. Um, be it of any closer to the truth or not, all that matter is there is no way we can start a journey without knowing where the problem started. Somehow we must at least have a place to start with, of gathering the information of what is going on. In order to know what our earth is suffering, we need to be able to gather resources, information, experience, like all about us, in order to seek this problem that we have of this beautiful earth that will come to be. And it shows that us being into this earth of a physical, we come in like a male and a female, broken pieces. So it means, so it's a problem. Is our earth a problem? But now, seeing the diagnosis does not break us away from seeking the true us. Knowing our disease should not stop us from seeking the healing to become back the true us. That if of a physical, without looking at the spiritual side of us, it's like, but I don't even know where I'm going. I don't even know where I came from. I'm just a human being. How? Now we begin to see that, okay, of the mind, we know of two: peace and a storm. We are, some things we don't agree with, some things we do agree with. Some agree with some things that the others disagree with, and others not. Like discipline, like some would say, I have to afflict someone in order for them to stop what they're doing, while others will be like, oh no, you can use peaceful measures to tame someone to stop what they're doing that is not or is not appealing. The unfairness and fairness. So we begin to sort out the only way to be able to reach peace is to enable peace to be the seed. And we can only get there by trying to heal of every produce. We try to get the right treatment to enable of, if the seed had all this, had headache, um, 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 tuberculosis, if the seed had COVID, name all the diseases that we know in that one seed, of every one disease that we're able to cure, gets us to a place of peace better. Like I used the grain of rice, and 3 grain of rice, and finally 10 grain of rice. You should be able to say hooray, even though you haven't reached a cup full yet. At least we should be able to see a progress. I hope we understand what I'm trying to say. We should be able to see a progress of our world. That if our world today, our beautiful earth, that started like a one, that's what our scholars, our teachers, our educators try to enable us to understand, that the earth was a piece of a land, or one piece, and have been drifting apart with time, and now of many continents, and now we are having different understandings of where we are. In some side now, like that, some areas of the world now are in the dark, and some are in the daylight, and it's like we're living in two separate worlds. And now to see that, hey, well, we've known of planets, the of other, and we are on Earth and there are other planets. We've learned in school and all that. Amazing, of course. Is it the light? There's no other planet. Well, we all know we are humans of the other. We've seen different colors, and so even whichever one you don't want to believe in, you can still see it in another. Like nothing hides. Like even, okay, if you don't want to believe humans are different, okay, the plants are different. We've seen an ant. We've seen other different insects. So we've seen a plant. Oh, different other kind of plants. So at the end, there are many differences of us, and this shows that there's a disability. There's a disability. But where is the whole? The water is supposed to be one. Okay, if water has drops, and these drops, you can't tell these drops. You can't tell them apart. You can't tell them apart. You know it's water, except when you have to break them into pieces. And breaking them into pieces is because there's a disorientation, there's a disability, there's a struggle. Like when you drop water, where if some ants gather and they're having a cookie, if you drop water there, oh, they all go apart. Not because they don't want to be together. Something is not adding up. It's what they're realizing, and they're trying to find out what's going on before they get back into being back on their cookies and eating their cookie and being at peace. So what is this? Why are we apart is the question now. Why is this one an ant? Why am I a human being? Why is that a tree? So this is a part of us in this physical that we are. It's a diagnosis. It's like the rainbow. It's not the end of it. We've learned even from school that it takes light to be able to have this rainbow, even though the rainbow is together, like a unity. It's not the end of it. It's not the final stable ground. It needs to go back into light. And the light is the origin of us, that the peace that have no storm. With light, you can walk your path without falling, without stumbling. So with all this learning, this enabling that we've been able to come out with intelligence and technology of of today, even though somehow aggressively because of our shortcoming and low ability to understand. We have used resources that we expect because we didn't come prepared. So it's like a fallen glass and pieces and trying to get back together. You see it, even when you put it together, it gets back to the whole glass that it is, but you see cracks, you see the lines and all that. And it's only going to take, and it still shows that it still have a storm, even though it's together, just like the rainbow. I hope we understand where I'm coming from with motivation and inspiration of our journey back to peace that have no storm that we seek. That even though of this physical nature that we are, we know that the flesh transitions back to its origin, and we become of the mind of what we leave behind, of intelligence, of intellect, of peace, of peaceful measures. We know of the said Papa Gandhi of India, of how he faced his battle of going with peace, and that's how they try to enable a means of how we can face a storm by not looking like like one that is coming to attack, or by trying to look more of a sober, of a humble being self, will give the others some ground to be able to stand and face us. That when you're going to someone looking like you're coming aggressively, they want to combat, they want to have protection and be able to resist and stand their ground. Of everyone, we deserve equality. Equality is what the aim is at the end of the road. Equality of human, of a man and a woman. Equality of the earth beings. Equality is what we're looking for. When we look at the rainbow, we see equality. They're looking for equality, even though they are not perfect yet, to become light, that you can't even tell the difference of the colors in light. It's equality that we seek for. So when some have been so pushed to the end, like don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge, trying not to lose my head. You know what I mean? Like how far you've pushed me, you do not understand how I feel, so I'm coming back at you. But at the end of the day, some coming back at you is like it's like it's like they don't understand, disorientated to understand what is peace. That when light is shown to one that has been in dark for too long, they become so scared. Like I was saying in the other previous videos, and in the earlier videos, of how some are even running from good, thinking it's bad. So we have to look for better measures of how to get them to understand this by bit, of like when you get in a strange land and these people are scared of who you are, they come after you with their weapons, and all you have to do is to walk gently. You don't run, you just walk gently, and you humble yourself, you put your gun down or whatever you have down and stand for peace. They will take you and go and try to investigate and make sure if you are peace. Those of higher power, those of lower will have to do that. But those of higher power will already have been watching you. Their satellites have been watching you. You know what I mean? So we all believe in all this of our physical being that we have learned to understand the reality of us, of the spirit, of the mind that we are, the mind of peace that have no storm that we seek. That when you only want to relate with the mind of yours, it's so difficult because others have their own minds. And then it's like an ocean, complication of how much storms we have, of so many heads now, like pieces of glasses on the ground. It's like our Mother Earth now into many continents, many countries. Now we don't even really about countries, but now we on tribes and then individuals. Like was so many of us, and that I even learned from from the web on I even learned from the web that the earth is the poles are melting. I even learned from the from a website that the poles are melting. That Antarctic excuse me, that the Antarctic continent, the Antarctica continent, snow is melting. That it's like a strange phenomenon that has never been, and they're trying to blame this on the ecosystem failing, and because of when we back up to find out what the problem is to diagnose it, we see it's because of technology evolution, and this is like are we doing anything wrong by trying to become of better? Is technology a problem? And we know that really that is not really the problem, but our main problem is the is the is the size of our population, because we need a lot of resources. We need to we need to exploit the earth too much than is expected to. And how fast we do it is just hilarious. So at the end of the day, you can't stop one from burning and then the other not. So how do we get back to that place of at least, if not being able to even maintain the earth, to at least have it um gracefully reach its end, while we get out gracefully, knowing that we have to reach our end of life of our physical being. So how do we get to this place of the earth? How do we surrender? How do we humans in this on this earth surrender to the earth? The earth is so scared right now that we see it, it throwing at us of his mother nature, storms and weathers we cannot handle, and the floods, all this power, the elements of the earth are acting, are responding to what we are doing to it, of us being the being in it. Um, we could say maybe it's not even us, maybe it's just the earth the way it is, but we cannot tell because we are so many and we blame the population. And what if we're just few of us? Would these situations still be? Well, our scholars have been able to point a finger at our scholars have been able to point a finger at the ecosystems, at the problems that enable the ecosystem becoming in a serious situation, which is um over using of the resources of the earth, and the increase of birth rate. And an article on Empoline that says that the situations of the earth ecosystem that we face today, we have deforestation, global warming, water pollution, natural resources depletion, and all these, we see that it all relates to the deforestation, water pollution, and global warming are all concerning a technology evolution of wanting more of better, and leading us to this situation. But wanting more of a better is not even the problem when we look at it, to see that it is the number of people that we are in the world, of population. So the natural resources depletion is because we are over using the resources, and doesn't mean that some people should starve. No, normally you cannot deprive another from food, but the only way that is possible for us to enable peace without storm of best that we can is abstinence, because birth control should be number one and the only way, and that is abstinence. Because if someone doesn't get into existence, we have no problem. But now, of one being able to be of conception is a problem because they're already in a being. And once you have conception, um, you can be thinking of an abortion, because an abortion is not peace. It's like peace. It's like a negative peace of enabling abortion, because when you get rid of this one, you others also, we blaming on being not fair, of one not being able to exist when the other could. Maybe this one could have been a president that we've gotten rid of. Maybe this one would have been one of our workforce. Maybe. So at the end of the day, to avoid this blame is to be able to have abstinence. And if you have to be blamed of not enabling a birth, we turn back to the increase of the population, that we all can be able to take care of us. We all can be able to take care of each other, of a woman and a man being able to share, collaborate with each other, and negotiate of what their needs are, of self needing. I really pray we understand where I'm trying to direct us with all this information that I'm enabling, of how we can get to this place of peace that have no storm. That this may just be a seed that one of us could take and grow into a mansion. And even the foundation may be weak, what I'm trying to enable here, but you being able to take it and make it even a better foundation and build a better house on it. You will not believe of these most silly ideas that woe us. We all know some silly things, that even so much intelligence that you have, and you're able to see some silly things that just you needed to just take and work on it, and whoa, and there you go, an airplane is flying in the sky. Some little things that we get to know, and hey, we are able to reach even the moon. So I'm just pleading that we should be able to think about all this, especially with childbearing, that even like we've said of man and a woman, and you're not even able to fulfill the need of this one, and this one sometimes even so devastated that it breaks your heart and enables low self-esteem, and you can't even reach a completion of yourself, of what you leave behind. You begin to feel like you didn't do enough for those that are left behind. Like of your the mindset you leave behind is you. You may think that your flesh, going to its origin, is you not being here. Have we heard names that I called of the intellect, the intelligent worthy of us? Some are not here today, some are here, but we're able to still talk about them. It's because of the great things that they were able to do. Of this greatness we're able to talk about helps us grow, and we it's like building on these materials, and finding back our peace is step by step a journey. So we should be able to see, even in these complications, the little that we've been able to accomplish, so that we can be able to grow it right. Because if we lose it, we not even know where to place every other piece that we find. So we should be able to trace back this inabilities that we have enabled of peace, and keep growing on them. Some of them have contaminations. All we have to do is heal, correct the contaminations. The mistakes become lessons. And that's the beauty we see of the mistakes, enabling them lessons, and then we grow, and not condemning. Condemning only makes it worse. We are looking for peace, and only positive plus positive will give us positive. Like I said last time, I don't know if you agree with me, that no negative and negative gives us positive. The positive is always the positive that will have a negative begin to come by, because we haven't reached the solution. We have to be able to have peace and peace. That when we're able to get into negotiation and collaboration, it stays that way of peace. That if there's any showing up, it's only getting better. If there is any other among questioning, it's only getting better, different from the peace that we're able to have of two negatives, and falling apart, getting nowhere is not a solution, but just stagnant. Stagnation is not a solution. it only becomes a chronic. If we do not cure the acute, it only becomes a chronic, and sometimes you don't see it, but until the end of when it has reached. Some people are so strong. People are so energetic that they don't see how much pain they have enabled until they have reached a certain point. But now we that are able to realize this, able to get them to the place of seeing it, just like a man of more authority. We hardly see how much they have enabled of pain that the woman is able to see and being like, hey, being able to collaborate with them, they're able to get back to understand like, hey, there should be another side of me that's emotional before I get to the worst. Like I did watch a documentary a while ago of these these white men, white brothers of us that went to one of these remote villages in a world. And we know that when it comes to the Western, it's more civilized. And then, when we look back to our ancestors, how much we have gain of technology and intelligence is like way apart. So we have some of us, um, these brothers that live in this primitive society of our world today, that they don't feel like trying to become of the civilized society. So it's like these white brothers went to this remote place like a forest um, of humans living there, and they were visiting. So the white brothers were trying to like relate again and feel, like, hey, sometimes we see our ancestors in this of us, like in the physical. You know what I mean? I hope we understand. Like when we want to really understand what our ancestors and our ancestry were like, our ancestors, we see them in this our brethren that keep this side, this primitive side that we think is primitive, this remote side of us. And it's like even more of fertile ground and vegetation in this area than we are of our urban area. Even tells us how much depletion we are enabling of this of our urban area than they of their rural area that we call primitive. And so these brothers were trying to communicate, collaborate. They were more like children to this of us in this primitive society. They were like children. And even of us now, we see that even the children that we have now are more intelligent. They are computerized, like they are more of the computer, the technology side than we are. And they are more the way they do things are different from the way we used to do back when in our own time. They are more advanced in their child. Oh, sorry. They are more advanced in their of their age than we were of our time. The things they do, they work on computers. In our time, we had papers and pens, so we begin to see that we relate. So when seeing these brothers going back to this remote area and talking with this among of us, these worthies of us, they were like telling the white people like, why are you going to the moon? Why are you all going? He was like asking them, talking in this in their language, and someone was translating like asking, why are you all going to the moon? Can't you just maintain your own place? Like, you can't just stay in your own ground? But we know the curious side of us. We always want to explore. We are higher beings, so it's a place to always like find a diagnosis. Sometimes we go with unfairness, which is like lack of understanding and of what we are going for. We only try to sort the best we can. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we make it, and that's how our life has always been of humans being in the world, of being the higher beings and increasing in population. So but the way he said it was very, very nice, because it's like he understood that their children. The way he spoke was, it felt like a son going back to their father and like, why are you this is like, trying to give advices and all that. The video was really interesting. So, and then it came to my knowledge that, well, I don't even know why they go to the moon. But I tell you, I've gotten into a plane and I've traveled. You know what I mean? That's the highest I can go. So at the end, we see that we all have a place where we all have our limits. Some are higher. So some go higher. Some, have a place where they end. Like I would, I tell you, you guys give me 10 billions. In short, even if you have to give me the whole world to get in a rocket and go to the moon, I'm sorry, I will never do that. So, so this is what I'm talking about. Some will want to take the risk, but me, I'm not going to get in that rocket because only, the plane is enough for me to fly that height right there. I always try to want to skydive, which is very risky, but I tell you, I just really want to be able to break that fear of skydiving. But to get in a rocket and go to the moon, I don't think I'll ever want to even dream about leaving the earth if I'm still in this physical being. Let me accomplish what I can do of the physical. But those that have been able to go to the moon, hooray. But at the end of the day, what we need to do is how we travel should be of peace seeking without a storm. That if we are going to these places, you know, aggressively, it's gonna cost us. Like we all have sinned, even of even a dog. If you're going close to a dog, you have to go with care. Because if you go a certain way, like a person that is going to cause a problem, they will back at you. They will back at you. And we work with dogs for security, so we know what security is and safety. And so sometimes, when you get to a place where you don't know, some things trigger you, and you being anxiety, you bring out your spikes. So, and then the others take you to something else, and at the end it's like, why did I even come here? I'm looking for the answer. It's all we're looking for. We're looking for the solution, the peace of however way we have taken different directions. Whoever finds the peace is for us all, and all of us, our works count. Of even the one that went the way that was way eh, um, 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 off, is still what that they care. Even of the one that gave up, it's not because they don't care, but not knowing where to start, either of being in an existence that they don't understand, or of being in a complication that they don't even know where to start with. So our ancestors have tried their best of being in a being where they don't even understand, and us of today in a complication that is more than us to even understand. We all have a place where we have a difficulty we're trying to heal, and I pray we all understand what our Mother Earth needs. Peace that have no storm. We know it, the origin of us, of stability, that when we are living this physical, we are leaving behind good motives and good inspiration that others can follow and help themselves and get right of the mind before the flesh goes back to its origin. The silence should always be of peace. That when the flesh is going to its origin of silence, let the mind also be getting to a better side of its silence of the storm that it have, of seeking peace that have no storm. Of best, it matters. That even when you are like on your bed, like my flesh today is parting, is back to its origin, you should be of your best. That even if you're not of your best, then you should be able to seek it then and be like, hey, I've come to this place now of partying, even though I haven't left a lot. But this little I want to live right now is that I have learned of our world is a place of struggle and pain, but peace we must be in the storm. The only way. Because the peace while being in the storm will enable the storm to get back to peace. That at least what we will gain of us is the peace that we have of us, of self, while we live the physical of the flesh. It's what our earth expects of us. That even when the other is not being able to let go of the storm that you're trying to peace still, you being the peace enables a what? That this one seeing you pattern with peace, is able to seek for peace. For we all were peace before the storm. It's just a matter of anxiety, and the anxiety becoming depression, and to others becoming arrogant pride. And the arrogant pride, we say arrogant pride is just a matter of being scared and trying to stand your ground, because you know existence is you. You have to exist, and you don't want pain, you don't want struggle, you don't want that. So we all face this in different ways, but we are all worthy. We are all worthy. We have to get to that place of seeing that we all are worthy, and that if we feel so complicated, it's not the end of us. We still owe peace, still in the storm, to our earth and to ourselves. For no one was stormed before the peace, but the peace we are, we owe it to ourselves. That even when we don't even want the peace will still be, because we are part in this world. It's like, whoa, now we begin to look at the mind, the flesh parts that the mind needs to heal. Now we get into the spiritual sides of us, and that the physical of us, the atheists, and those who don't believe in spirits, and those who believe that this the physical ends here, at least should be able to see that their mind is very important to the world that they leave behind for others to learn from. Is the peace still in the storm? That's what you're able to enable. That even if you struggle all your life, let me take for example, if I was a robber, I was robbing, like robbing all the time and living this wild life into a place where I'm about to part this world, and I'm feeling like low self and like a nobody. What will I leave behind? Does it even matter? Of course. Whether it matters to you or not, you are leaving a you behind. And if you say you don't care what you're leaving behind, it's not true. Because you do care. Because if you didn't care, you'll be living forever. That you've been able to silence shows that you care. You care about peace, whether you like it or not. The unfair side of us we try to heal from. And now those left behind to be able to enable you gain that peace by correcting, enabling lessons out of the mistakes that we've made, is healing you. How much will you want to pay them? By thanking them and enjoying the peace again. For peace is us whether we like it or not. There's no way we can escape from peace. But how we get there matters. It should be positive plus positive, not a negative and a positive. Making work on others. If one left work on you, how will you feel? Of the work that if someone have left and you are feeling it, you leaving another behind is like doubling the work on another. If we don't feel comfortable with what another have left, then what more of us living of another? Let us gain peace. We all have seen sickness. We don't like sickness. No one likes pain. Even the one that is doing all the harm also have tears. It's time for us to begin to see that some are throwing away their peace out here, and us drinking on it like juice, unable to find out how they're doing. It's like cheating. It's like being greedy. That we need to be able to have a place of comforting these others who have fallen. They're like a mom. Is it how do you call this? Is it um let me say a ball. When a ball bounces, it just goes it's unstable. Or let me say when a plastic cup falls, it rolls until it has to go to a stop. We've been able to stop it before it gets to the fire. It's helping the cup. So if this one is that one that has been in that place of just falling and not even able to know themselves anymore of the peace that they are, and being on feeling only being a storm, are rolling, 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 and rolling. We are on the other side are able to stop them before they get to the fire, like a plastic cup shouldn't reach the fire. So we all owe each other. And it's so sad to see one hurting, part in this world in hurt, that they've been able to have someone to sit with them and talk with them, and let them know that, hey, have peace of best, while we all work a lesson out of the mistakes that we have made. Not only you, but we have made. I know how much you would have wished to be able to do a lot to correct some of this. You're unworthy. But I tell you, we being able to do it for you also is worthy. At least let the flesh go back to its origin with your mind. Setting up with peace is the only way, not a storm. Peace, have no storm we seek. Our world, our earth falling apart, we must enable it to have its peace by trying the possible means. We have been able to make emergency plans for a flood, for a storm, a hurricane. We can do that for the earth by sitting back and thinking. Let's sit back and think and reflect, reflecting on how do we save the earth, and even if we can save it, how can we let it at least slow down on how much it is depleting, falling apart. Yet we all have to be safe out of it because we come into it. If the house is burning, we all will part from the house. But gracefully must we leave the flesh. The flesh must gracefully return to its origin, where we part, and only possible by abstinence. Reducing conception, like a journey back to the origin of no conception. Women have menopause at the end of the day. Should tell us a lot. Thus bringing a worthy, a royalty into this world, worthy, or making them more of a complication of all the mistakes that we have known, of new mistakes to come. How do we start? Even it's like adding more problem on a problem, like I just said earlier. Even of those who don't want to see that, hey, we can stop having, we can stop. I shouldn't say having children, because I don't think we are having children. Comment, I am one that have had children, and reflecting, to my understanding, I'll appreciate your disagreements. Maybe that will help me even improve my knowledge. But to the knowledge that I know now, I don't think we are birding children, because the world has fire. It's like we're killing children instead. That's what I've come to feel sitting back to think. Hey, birding is beautiful, I tell you. Having the young come and then you be responsible, and who doesn't want to be like one that can direct and lead and lead right? But hey, how disorientated was I to not to see that this is a place where you is fire. Bringing a young one is not the problem, but where we are. If we haven't sorted out our problem with the earth, what are we doing? We can't even take care of our own self. It's what we've shown the earth, because the earth is falling apart. It's showing that we can't even take care of our own selves. Then how do we bring in another? I tell you, this guilt, but I tell you, we can't sit on the mistakes. We have to be able to make lessons and heal. Because if we sit on the mistakes, it's not helping. It's not going anywhere. We are all going to the end. And like they say that the Antarctic continent, the Antarctica is opening up. So we're preparing their bags, like we have to go there. I can't wait for it to open up so I can go make my new land and new life and new all that. But we are only reaching the end of the earth, the end of the world. Like we are all already feeling like all the earth. It's like reaching all, well, it's about feeling all the continents. And if some parts are depleting already, it means that we're trying to deplete everywhere. And where are we going? I'm sorry, my eyes are rolling. It's like I'm already like I can already see it. Like we all, I know, it's like I'm the last one to, I should say I'm the last one to even realize this because I'm not that even that smart. I will say so, but I tell you the truth. I feel like if I can know this, then hey, maybe everyone has already known this. But now, some have known it, but how to stop it could be the problem of how much beautiful some just love having these babies. You know what I mean? Like, don't stop me from having the candy. I want the candy. You know, like the candy. I know it's gonna spoil your teeth, but please, how do I stop this one from having the candy? The teeth is getting bad. When they only want to eat the candy, what do I do? How do I stop them? You know what I mean? So, is there some other kind of candy? What can we do? You know, I mean, not sugar free. Something that can gracefully we can, you know what I mean. So at the end, it's like maybe making dolls like chewy. How can we fake it? How can we fake a baby? That's the last thing we could ever do to fake a human being. It's not possible because only trying to make a baby is only keeping the keeping the concept of having a baby, and we'll get back again to being every other comfort of the stomach we can enable of food. Some have been able to eat too much that they don't know how to control their feeding anymore. It's an addiction. Having a baby can become an addiction. I don't know about that, of the pain that it comes with it. That even if it has to become an addiction, I tell you the truth, menopause will stop it. Oh, Father. At the end, I came to understand that the Western world was known to be of let me look at it again. The Western world, that's the Europeans, um, were known to be pat- patriarchal, patri- patriarchal, right? And then the Native Americans and the Africans were more of a of a matriarchal of a matriarchal society, meaning that the patriarchal is more dominant by men, and the matriarchal was more of dominant of women, which brings us back again to a division, showing that we are divided. We need to get back right. We are sick. We need to get back whole. We need to get back whole so we can get back to work. And the work we have is being peace that have no storm. We like fallen pieces of humanity. The man and the woman needs to get back whole. The patriarchal and the patriarchal and the matriarchal society have to get back whole. That even those of in the remote areas are representing ancestry, and they are more of like the mother they're more of like the mother, because it's like they have this caring nature of compassion and emotion of, oh, don't go there, you're going to harm here, you're going to harm there, don't go there. And then those of the civilized are more of the energetic, like the male of power, and the child of the mother, the son, the mother and the son. So at the end, I kind of see like, the earth, like the mother earth gives birth to its sons, and the sons are the beings in it, and we have to maintain it and take care of it, because it's a give and take, and it's only a matter of peace giving and peace taking. I hope we understand this. And so, uh, being being the son, we have the power to take care of the mother. So the mother and the father are very important personnels, and authority is always overall, and that's why the father is always greater, and the greater, and the mother is caring, which is emotional, and makes and lower authority. And then it's amazing how both really interact in a very natural way. um I hope we're trying to get what I'm trying to bring us to, of humanity, of being a mother and a son. Of the Christians who say the father and the son. At the end, we said father and the son is the father and the son. The father is a mother, and the son is a son. and mother and son. So at the end, the father and the mother is one, and that's the father. We call him father because of authority and caring. But the overall of us all, the highest power of us all should be the greatest authority, and should be why it should be called father, to show the difference between every other existence. And so mother will be caring, which we all have. But when it comes to our earth, the mother earth, it's all about caring, and we are the children. We are the children of the great power of father. So that's why we call it his mother earth, because it's among the lower being of spirituality. So we're getting there. I hope we're having the concept of where I'm getting to with Mother Earth, and we'll get into Father Earth. Talk about why. No, no, not Father Earth. The Father, why we have Father, why we have Mother, and then in the Mother we also have the Father, which is power, which is the Mother comes from the Father. So now this is now spirituality now is father, and we are the physical is the mother. So we're going to see that even of the spirituality, we have higher power of spirituality, and the greatest of it of all is father, and every other is mother. I hope we get what I'm trying to say. I really hope it's beautiful how this is coming together. If we follow from all the messages I've started from the first video to now, we'll see that I'm getting somewhere, understanding the true us. And why is it father, and why is it mother, son, daughter, humanity, male, female, mother earth, the planets up there? What are they? Are they mother too, or are they father? Well, we have only one father, and the father is the creator authority of all existence, that of our universes, all of them, all, that even some out there calling themselves father at the end of the day are only looking at us of the earth, or physical, that is still disorientated, is still primitive, is still let me not say primitive, but lack of knowledge of our true origin. It's like we've gone too far away. It's like we are the ones that have instead gone too far away with the sons. You know what I mean? We have gone too far away from the mother. It's like the sons have gone, like, it's amazing how, if we really look at it, it's very, very interesting. But now, like I tried to make us understand that the mother and the father is one, the greatest authority of all spiritual beings, of us all. That spirit to us in the physical being is the mind that we're trying to get back to peace, still in the storm. That even those who don't believe in spirit, at least we can be able to relate with peace that have no storm we are seeking and behold. And then of the spirit realm, of the spirit being that we are, of the spirit, meaning of of where our ancestors have gone to, that we have to get to. We can still understand it even in the water. Like, it's the water, it's the spirit, it's the spirit, that the little of us that we know of, the drop, the mind, the little of us that we know, we can become what? Understanding what a drop of water is like without going to the ocean yet. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. We have to understand, first of all, the basics, the properties of the water before we get to the ocean. Where we are going is beautiful. Peace that have no storm. Now, to get there, we need to go the right way without causing too much havoc and obstacles in our way, blaming others when we need to know how we approach. That some are able to try to go the right way, but being approached, like obstacle because of how others have traveled the road. But gracefully, those of higher power understand, they know, they understand. They have satellites. It's like we have satellites, like they have their own spiritual, they are able to see, they know the one that needs help, they know the one to teach. So we are all in a journey. For those that believe only in the physical, please try. Even if you think you're not going to another realm, or to another side where the ancestors are, leave something behind. They throw you behind. That is peace that have no storm. They have the best of peace that you leave behind, greater than what you started with. It's so what for us others to work with. And you can say, oh, you believe in spirit, let me leave this for you. so that in case I step out there and the spirit, you be my help, okay? I hope you do understand where I'm trying to head to. We have a lot to talk about, and I'm so glad we're able to have this video on Earth, and we're able to at least believe our Earth to see what the drama that we're enabling of our Earth, being humans, and what Mother Earth is and its nature, the elements of the Earth, its characteristics, its struggle, and its well-being, the unfair side trying to heal back to the fair side, and all this what we're trying to enable. And at the end, we see that we humans of higher beings are the ones to really step up and help the Earth more. We owe the Earth. We need to give back better than, greater than every other being of the earth. So this is why we have to be able to reach this place of peace, understanding peace still in the storm, the best that we can, seeing that abstinence is number one. And it's not like to just go, oh, well, step by step. Some are trying to reduce how much they get related with the other partner for conception and all that. This emotion in in your being in the name of feelings that gets you to the place of seeking for of conception and all that. So gracefully we heal. Some are better, some are still a step away, but we all advance into the light gracefully. Do not let the light point get to you too bright. It may make you stop from following right. Just gracefully heal. Do not let others make you feel like worst, like we are better than you, and then you shy away. Do not shy from the light. Gracefully follow the right steps. You are self-control. You have to have self-control to be able to know who to listen to, who to work with. That even when you hear a louder voice, you can reduce the voice in you. That if someone says something that is so loud and dramatic to you, you are able to take the gift and make it worse by correcting the gift. I hope we understood this in the other video that I made of the Father giving you a gift, and is how you receive it that will matter. I struggle with it too, but I tell you, knowing this concept helps us a lot to know that, hey, even if your Father give you something, if it's a knife, turn it into an attic. If it's a gun, you take it and make it into a lesson. You know what I mean? It's a mistake that they give to you like a gift. Receive it like a gift with respect. Take it and turn it right. That's how we heal, so that no one is left behind, no one feels ridiculed. I pray we understand how we can heal our Mother Earth. I know this is not the Earth Day, but I'm just trying to relate this with the videos that we've been having of a woman and a man making humanity and Earth is the earth seeking for its peace. It's like man and woman seeking for humanity. So they all relate, and we all begin to see where we're going to. And now, after relating with the Mother Earth, now who is the Father? And now that we have seen that the Son, there's a mother and the Son, and then the Father is kind of being left out. We know of the female and the male, and there are needs that need to be met. Now the Father is the overall. We haven't talked about too much. We've talked about the mother and the son, and the male and the female, the man and the woman. Now we're looking forward to talk about the Father. Hope our next video will be worth watching. And thank you for watching today. And hopefully we can sit back and reflect. I know this video is an hour video, but you can break it into half and watch half and finish the rest later on. But we need to be able to bring out these messages so that we can able to work on. And with time, we'll be having shorter videos on where we are going to. I'm so glad I'm so glad I believe that spirits contribute. This is not only my knowledge. I came to this world saying, yeah, 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 okay? I didn't come speaking. So I only learned how to speak, and the Spirit speaks. And walk with the Spirit gracefully. and the spirit is like a mother, and they advance to the highest of the Father, which is the Father is the greatest of all the spirit of all the understanding of the mind going out. A lot to talk about, and I hope gracefully we can learn more and understand my concept and understanding and the knowledge that I have of today better than what I had. I'm so glad to be able to bring this out because it's so new to me. Like, I feel so impressed of how much we can grasp being a human being, of what peace that have no storm is, and misunderstanding that we can correct. We are higher beings of how our technology have come to be. Why not? At least let's be able to share these good messages so that we can heal, not condemning no one. We are all worthy. Thank you. Royalties with dignity. Even when you're sick, I tell you, we can still see the peace. We can still see the peace because you are the peace in the storm. Stay blessed, royalties. Stay blessed.